Dan yang paling istimewa, tuan-tuan, puan-puan, selamat malam, Assalamualaikum. Keberlanjutan Tajawang Sahau. Assalamualaikum. Waalaikumsalam. Terima kasih. Baik, saya punya sedikit waktu yang kerana Wabi Nurul lambat, jadi saya mungkin dapat sikit waktu extra time. Jadi saya nak berkongsi dengan tuan-tuan dengan lebih mendetail sikit, dalam sikit ya. Saya ada banyak slide, tapi malam ni saya nak tunjuk hanya mungkin 2 ya. Tapi saya akan seperti biasa ceramah style berbekal lidah dan gigi. Nothing of that educational aid ataupun teknik tu. But I will come to this slide when it's relevant ya. Baik. Saya ringkaskan desakan dan tekanan untuk melaksanakan apa yang dipanggil sebagai the goods and services tax ini, dalam bahasa Melayunya GST, tahu kan? Gasap sampai teruk adalah kerana kerajaan sudah tidak punya pilihan. They have come to a point where they have just simply got to implement this. Ia jelasnya, it is very clearly going to help kerajaan untuk menamatkan, to end that 16 years of managing the resources of this country in a very imprudent way. Boleh saya guna bahasa bilingual? Kena suruh saya Inggeris je. Yeah. Why they have come to this point adalah kerana simply because of bad fiscal management or mismanagement. Lalu, while it is very clear that this GST is supposedly, maybe not immediately, maybe in the next 2 years, or maybe they want to get it in the first year, where the revenue of this GST is going to help them to at least have a balanced budget, meaning what you spend is going to be what the revenue that you're going to have, or you're going to get. While that may be so, the issue that we want to debate is at what expense. Surely, this is coming from the Rakyat, and surely it's going to be coming from the greater numbers of Rakyat, because as you know very well, because of the suppressed income in this country, there are only 1.7 million direct taxpayers by way of cukai pendapatan individu. Only 1.7 out of the entire workforce dalam pasaran kerja. Numbers keep changing, but today I confirm, according to our budget group, our budget task force, the final information, it is 1.7. I carry on. Because they have mismanaged this country for 16 years, if I can just say something to you, a bit on the economics perhaps. See, there is always a cycle in the economy. The boom time and the bust time. There is always a cycle of up and down in the economy. And in one cycle, one full cycle is about 10 to 12 years. And in fact, Indonesia, Thailand, Australia experienced within the last 12 years what is known as a balanced and in fact a surplus budget. And as for us, Because whether it is boom time or whether it is bust time, whether it is bullish market, whether it is bearish market, we keep spending and pump primary. Therefore, 16 years of fiscal deficit, 16 years of budget deficit. Thank you, Barisan Nasional. Thank you all of you for putting in Barisan Nasional again. Gila.
Marah.
Alright, let me move forward cepat-cepat, yeah? Now, that being the case, when they wanted to have a new revenue model, when they wanted to have a new revenue stream, Mestilah rakyat didahulukan. Tuan-tuan akan dibebankan untuk mendapatkan, if they start off at 5% GST, they are looking at 8 to 10 billion, which is about at 8 to 10 billion, there will be about 5%, or 10 billion will be about 5% of the federal budget. Sorry, revenue. Okay. Now, so they're looking at this because personal income tax is so skewed to only 1.7 trillion. We are looking at a broader, bigger, what is known as a broad-based tax system. And a broad-based tax system is provided for by this, what is known as consumption tax. You consume, you pay. You don't consume, you don't pay. And GST, in the UK it's called value added tax, VAT, is actually a consumption tax. Because everyone consumes lah, depending on your, of course, your ability to consume. If you get that salary bracket of 20k and above, you consume more. So in one sense, the GST is a progressive tax. It's a progressive tax, right? And in some sense, it is good because it is taxing you. Come, give a applause. Selalu menjadi hari saya. Tapi saya dah terlambat. Jadi must be corrupted some other things. But I'll proceed on, yeah. So, jadi just look at how this fiscal management, mismanagement has been, bagaimana mereka telah mengurus kita dengan sangat buruk. Okay. And especially with Najib around, beginning in 2009, 2008 to be exact, very rarely you have supplementary budget. But ever since 2009, siapa yang ganti? Siapa ambil alih? Najib. Najib ke semua? Ever since 2009, every year, twice it present supplementary budget bekalan tambahan. And ever since 2009, that bekalan tambahan on average is 20 billion. Prior to that, it was only about 5 billion. They do, but not twice. It's like very routine now, And this one that has been passed by our MPs gallantly fight and fought right up to 12:50 in the morning. They fought right up to 12:50. Oh no, that was a PCA one. Yeah, but they fought hard. I was there before lah. Now tak ada lah. You tak sokong I dah selesai. Jadi kan, so they have been doing that. They have been doing it. I told you a while ago that actually we should have been pump priming, meaning there must be government spending on that G factor, in the GDP when during the past time lah. We understand. Yeah, we understand when it is bearish economy, slowdown of economy, the government help to pump prime so that you generate more economic activities and hence growth. But in our case, whether it's boom time, whether it's fast time, it's all about pump priming. Now they look at you because you are the best people to help them. Only 1.7 only among you pays for. I think most of 100% they're paying income tax maybe. Right, let me just quickly go through that. You got the idea already. They have been managing badly. Twice a year, since 2009, they present supplementary budget. And this one that they have just presented, asking for 14.2 billion, was only 2 months ago. They asked for 13 billion. Terima kasih, Najib. Terima kasih saudara-saudara yang menyokong Najib. Sure, there are none around here. Okay, so I will then now quickly go on to explain a bit. Yeah, my two learned why this is going to detail out because I'm just supposed to be making the introduction. Yeah, I can go in detail, but I think I will be taking a lot more time. I wouldn't want to bore you with all this. Yeah, just let me just quickly tell you. Only business entity. Yes, if you go on, only business entity, individual or business entity, hang on, can you move on to the next slide? Yeah, amount pembekalan bercukai, jualan perlu melebihi 150,000 setahun or 41,600 per month. If you are in that category, then you are GST bound. You must subscribe and you must have a system because let me tell you, GST is a fantastic system. By way of compliance, because business entities must comply. Why? Because there is this rebate. I will have to explain to you a bit so that you don't go back with the wrong notions of that means at every level kena GST teruk lah kalau dia maknanya the consumer at the end is going to pay 5 times the GST. That's not right. Okay, let me tell you straight away. Some people, especially kalau our MP lah cakap dah orang daya 5 kali bina ganda. Really, they don't quite understand lah. So tonight we'll just show this. Yeah, we'll just show you to you. What else is there? See, before I move on to that gambar raja, you see this graphic was going to tell you easily. Can you walk to one? What is that? That's where if you are a individu atau entiti perniagaan, you perlu bayar if you have that 500,000 or 41,600 per month, yeah, of your turnover rather. Okay, one. Okay, when GST is to replace the sale and services tax, the SST, the sales and services tax, is going to take. That has got to end. That SST has got to end. You know, sales tax is what percent? 10%. Service tax, you masuk ke restoran mamak, berapa you bayar kalau makan kucing canai? Mamak you pay 5%. Okay, that is the cut-off. That is the benchmark. That's how we going to compare. Because at 5% sales, at 5% service tax, you go to hotel and others, yeah. Let me say this to you. SST, this is the opposite of GST. In SST, everything is not taxed except what is determined and already clearly categorized to be taxable. In GST, everything is taxed except what has been given as zero rated or exempted or tax exempted. Okay, that will be explained. For example, all the supposedly essentials, I've got a list. Your roti, your beras, your gula, minyak, semua ni, they supposedly zero rated lah, tax exempted. But imagine if they're going to exempt you a lot of things, and it's going to be a long list. I'm sure they cannot collect at 5%, 8 billion lah, simple as that. So they are quite caught, They want to be because. Okay, I'll just move it one step back. Now, because of that, because we have got to see the final list, now the not so good side of GST. It is true, GST is a consumption tax, we don't consume, we don't pay. However, if that exemption list is not going to cover essential goods and services, hence the lower income group, pendapatan rendah dan sederhana akan membayarnya. And this is a fact that, you know, all this while they've not been paying anything. You 1.7 million taxpayers, corporate and individual tax paying, right? But now, depending on the list that are exempted, it will then be determined whether this is going to, as said by our saudara Masa tadi, that the lower income group is going to be taxed. Yes, certainly. If that is not exempted, then the lower income group is going to be. Brilliant. Okay? Last slide. Only slide. Hold on, the last slide. You go on the mechanism. Have you got that? Sorry, come in. You got this? You got this? Alright. Let me just go through with you. Hopefully you can make sense of this. Go to the SST. Right. This is SST. This is SST. SST is also known as, you know, at one point you masuk at penghilang, ya, you bayar dekat pengguna saja. This is the reason why GST is beautiful or is bagus kerana dia multi-step tax. But that multi-step doesn't end in, at the end of the day, consumer paying 5 times at every supply chain. Sama ada penghilang, pemborong, peruncit dan pengguna. Because as to the taxpayers, friend over here understood it, you ada apa dipanggil dia? That is SST. You see ya? Can you have a look at? Can you just note down untuk peniaga 560 dan kepada kita dapat berapa tax? Yeah. Oh sorry. Oh dia. Sorry ya. Yeah, people out there. Alright. You see penghilang RM100. Kalau cukai jualan RM10, you have 110. That RM10 dibayar kepada kerajaan. Ya. Pemborong takes up at 120. Ya. They given them 10%, dia dapat RM12 itu. Apa ini? Dia punya dia punya ini profit, ya. Jadi dia finally untuk pada profit pada pemborong adalah RM2. As you go on to the next supply chain, the peruncit will get untung 360. Finally, what is it that is paying? How much is it? How much is pengguna bayar? 1,566. Yeah. Now, can you quickly go on to the GST? This is what tax. This is the beautiful thing of the tax. Can you please pay attention? Yeah? That is the concept. That is a mechanism. Oh sorry. That is a mechanism. Ya. Penghilang, pemborong, peruncit, pengguna. Okay. Now, just watch. Jumlah hasil kepada kerajaan berapa? 15? 60. Earlier berapa? Earlier the SST. No, sorry, not. Untung peniaga atas cukai jualan 560, and then 171. What tax? Bayar kepada only berapa? RM10. Now apa kerajaan dapat GST? 15. Because you are taxing them at every value adding. This is why GST is also called value added tax. Go back to the slide. You see, this is what. This is slide. At penghilang, ya, the penghilang brings in at a cost of 100. Okay, tax at 10%, 110. Okay, and then the penghilang pass it to pemborong. At that price 120, pemborong pass it to peruncit, finally pass it to the pengguna. Yeah. Harga yang dibayar oleh pengguna 171, but you must remember kutipan cukai, ya, kutipan cukai kerajaan to 360 and 10. Tadi you remember SST, where did they get, at which point the kerajaan dapat? Only entry penggila. That makes it a consumption tax that is going to generate more income. As to how every person, they are the rebate. They are going to be getting back all their tax. They're going to get back. Meaning to say, we can go into that slightly more technical thing. They are not actually passing it to the consumer. They are not passing it to the consumer. Yeah? So you can see 10% cukai atas 20, RM2. Yeah? They are, let's say, okay, dia masuk dengan berapa tadi? 110 ya? 110 kan? 110 kan? So dia dapat balik, berapa dia dapat balik? Dia dapat balik berapa? This guy is going to get RM2 back. Because he pays 10, the next pay 12, he gets RM2 rebate. So in that sense, it is an incentive for all business entities to comply. Because you can't cheat the numbers. In SST, they can under-declare, they can do whatever, you know lah. I hope you don't know lah. Tetapi here, because you've got to be accurate. And the system is beautiful. It's a backroom IT system where you can't cheat. So compliance in GST is perfect. Right, I think I'm just taking it there. Now I introduce to you consumption tax, GST, multi-steps taxation. Yeah, friendly if exemption list is a long one. Otherwise, this is what we are claiming. Rakyat di negara ini tidak mengalami peningkatan income. World Bank has accepted the fact that in the last decade, real income, taking care of inflation was only about 3.2, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So why we are against is simply this. There are many ways of killing a cat, but you only see at the Rakyat killing himself. First we talk about tutup pintu-pintu ketirisan. Yeah. I think I'll leave it at that, and then my colleagues is going to talk more about the revenue that can come. You know, I think maybe Tony Govt or Izzah can talk about that. You know, because we feel that until and unless there is an appreciation or increase of the income of the Rakyat, that has been suppressed essentially because why? Because this country has got more than 2 million, officially 3 million unofficial foreign workers that are paid on the low wages, and because of that, there is a suppression of wages. And business entities keep not wanting to move into value added that are higher because of a low skilled labor. Now, I conclude by saying the way forward, the trajectory forward for a higher income economy, higher income per capita, in terms both of both income and disposable income, must begin with one, having a skilled labor force. There must be reskilling. You know, business entities must attempt at increasing their value added. You know, more knowledge intensive kind of, you know, just don't export CPO lah, export cosmetic and whatever, palm oil and yang lainnya. Jadi product of that, a downstream product. Why we are trapped in this, why we are trapped in the middle income is because we have relied for so long foreign workers, and our industries become lazy to catapult or to propel into higher value-added industries, knowledge-based, knowledge-intensive industries. That's the way forward. I've not touched about whether it's a cure or addiction. I leave it to you. What do you think GST will be? If it's going to be an addiction for the kerajaan, for the government, because they think that they can get easy money, that is an addiction. That is a instant therapy for them. Ada masalah, look at the rakyat didahulukan. Or is it going to be a real cure? We must understand we are facing with an economy that is challenged from many aspects. I don't have to go into that detail. You know, the slowing down of the economy, you know, pengucupan permintaan, negara-negara seperti Amerika, Eropah dan juga China setiap waktu lagi. All these are very challenging times. So we must move. Yeah. And my only problem that I leave you with, kalau our growth has been based upon domestic driven, kerajaan sangat salah. Kenapa? Dengan GST, you will have at least 3 years of inflationary pressure, tekanan inflasi. Dan dia akan tentunya menjadikan duit dalam pocket, or what is known as the disposable income minus all the overheads is going to be reduced. If that is going to reduce, the total aggregate demand of the rakyat by way of private consumption is going to be reduced. And our kind of model of growth has been domestically driven. And if this is being reduced by this gasap sampai teruk, kalau tak ada exemption lah kan, bermakna sangat salah.
Yes.
Model mereka sangat salah. So that has got to be understood. And I think with that, I have a lot more that I left for my two YB. So with that, I thank you.